Dear friends, today we are going to discuss about the second part of a machine learning tutorial series, data cleaning and pre-processing. In my previous video, we have already discussed about the steps we have to follow for any machine learning projects. The first step is the data collection. So we discussed more about data collection in my previous video. Those who not watch the previous video, please check my previous video so that the continuations you can able to follow. So, data cleaning and pre-processing is an essential task because the quality of data that you give for a machine learning algorithm is very much essential in order to achieve your task. So, in data cleaning and pre-processing, here I have listed some of the tasks. I will explain one by one so that you will get an idea. First, we will check data cleaning. That is easy and everyone must do in every machine learning project. So the data cleaning begins with checking the missing values. For example, if you have a data set of thousands of records, so those records we have to check if is there any missing value. If we have some missing values, then we have to make some imputations. Imputations in the sense we can substitute some value for the missing value, or we can replace or we can delete the complete record or complete column from the data set so that it will not give any errors in future. Okay, so this is the first step. Next one is the checking or removing duplicate records. So the duplicate records, we usually we have to add duplicate records if we have less number of records in our data set. But sometimes if duplication makes issue, then we have to remove those duplicate records. The next is fixing inconsistency. When you collect data from different sources, definitely the units or date or money value, these are all having different measures or different units. So you have to make into one format or one unit so that your processing can be better. So that is fixing inconsistency. Next one is the fixing outlier or and correcting errors. Filtering outlier in the sense sometimes our data may be wrong entry, so we have to check outliers in the data set. For example, in the age column, if anybody entered the data, actually the age is 18, but by typing mistake, it may be entered as 180. So we have to remove those things from our, we have to correct those things in our data set. So we have to find the outliers. Either we can remove or we have to correct those values, right? So the next is the correcting errors. Okay, sometimes name and other things can be typing errors. So we have to correct those typing errors. Okay, so we will see those things in our programming examples. Here I have taken a small data set with four records. You can see we have two different packages, pandas and numpy. The purpose of panda already I discussed in my previous video. We have to use in order to process data in a form of tables. Pandas, it has a two important object. One is the series. Series in the sense it will process a single dimensional array. The second one is the uh, data frame in pandas. So it will handle 2D array. So in the 2D array, in the sense, it's like a table, rows and columns. Okay. So here I'm going to use data frame. That's why I include pandas as a package. The next is NumPy. NumPy, usually it comes with pandas because it's an advancement. Pandas is advancement of NumPy. NumPy used to process NumPy package. It's used to process array of data. So we can usually we have to include these two in order to uh, you can compute or we can process data in a easy way. Okay, so that's why I include pandas and numpy. So we have a data frame with four records. So the data frame is built with our manual data entry. So you can have in data frame, we can read a data from a data set. It may be a Excel file or a table. We can directly read, or we can have our own data. So we can give input to our data frame. So while creating data frame, pd.data frame, you can see here. You can see here pd.data frame. So here we have to give our input data set. Okay, so here I have a data, okay, 3 columns, and we have 4 rows. Okay, it's a dictionary. So we have a key and values. Key and values. This is in Python, we consider as a list. List of values can be given as a value. Okay, so I hope you know about different data types in Python. So I will not go in detail about these data types. I will directly move to the next line of code. Okay, so next is we have to handle the missing value first. So we have to check if we have some missing value. For example, here you can see the name column. I have a missing value none. And also I have a missing value in age. So I have to replace. Not only one place, wherever we have a missing value, we have to substitute some other value which is closely related to the particular column. Okay, in generally, if it is a numerical column, any column which is fully numerical values, we can take average or we can take median value, something we have to do some statistical method to replace the value. Some textual columns, we have to give as input as default text. Some text we can add it wherever there is a empty space in the data set. Okay, so here I have utilized 2 of these things. The name column, I have given a default value. So that will be added wherever empty space is there. And similarly, the age column, when you take age column, here I have computed the mean value. So those mean value will be replaced wherever we have a null values. Okay, so this is one way to handle the missing values. Sometimes if we have more number of records, missing values are very few records, then we can able to remove entire row. Sometimes if the column is not useful for your analysis, we can also remove the complete column also. But this is not a good choice. So we have to some way compute the missing value to replace those empty or missing places. Okay. So the next is the duplicate record. As I already said, we usually had duplicate records in order to increase the data set size. But sometimes if the data set size is more, then we can able to remove those duplicate records. It's not a matter. So we remove by using drop duplicates. Here you can see drop duplicate method. So it will replace, it will delete all the duplicate records. That's why we have a in place equal to true. Okay, so what it means here, it will delete the records and save the remaining records in that same data frame. That's why we have in place equal to true. In case if you not give in place equal to true, what will happen? It will drop the records, but the records will not be deleted from the data frame. So it will be remains. Okay, so normally what the people will do here, df equal df equal df dot drop duplicates. So this is also one way to drop the duplicates. Okay, so we have a statement. So what will happen after dropping? The result will be stored in the same data frame, or you can simply use in place equal to true. This is also one way to keep the updated data set in the same data frame. Okay, so the next is the fixing inconsistency. Here you can see date is a different format. So in order to make in a single format, here I have to use date time method. So that will make whatever, different formats in the particular column that will be corrected as date format. Okay, so the next is the age. Okay, so we have to filter out those ages. We have to filter out those ages which is above 100. Okay, 100 and above. So what we will do, we will consider only the ages which is less than 100. So we have to filter out by using some simple filter method in Python. So we can able to filter complete values. Okay. And we can store the resultant in the same data frame. Okay. So the next is the replace the errors. Okay. So here you can see Alice spelling mistake is there. So we have to correct it by using replace method. Okay. So in this way, we can able to correct some of the errors in our data set, but there are a lot more methods are there. But for time being, I just keep it small so that you can able to follow the complete tutorial easily.